blessings.
I spilled to myself.
Fucking rookie, bud.
You're supposed to say Diablo.
29 years old and you're still being a goddamn rookie.
That's right, I'm 29. I'm not even 35. I told somebody today that I was 40, and she was like, you don't look a day close to 40. And I was like, that's because I'm not.
I think once you reach a certain age, you forget your age.
No, I know exactly how old I am. I just didn't want to admit my real age, that's all.
No, that shit happened to me at work. Somebody was like, oh, you just celebrated a birthday? How old are you? Without missing a beat, I was like 29.
29?
And immediately I was like, I don't know why I said that. I'm not 29 years old.
You admitted the lie?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have admitted that I was lying.
It was just right off the cuff. I was like 29.
29. That's the year that you're still living in. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, hi guys, my name is Jules, Julia, that loud Mexican bitch. Overall, Jules, gaslighter, and ghoster. That's all I'm adding. That's
fair. I agree with that. That's very...
And to my right, I have...
politically correct Pierre. Because I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to get with the times.
For what, bud?
That's what you got to do. You got to get with the times, man.
No. I like to stay not with the times. I like to live in the 90s. That's how I like to live. Like, just remember the 90s. How amazing were the 90s? And before we get into it, let's tell the people, before we start getting into arguments, what we're going to talk about. We have been going out on some outings recently, and we wanted to share with the listeners.
So when you reach a certain age,
not 29,
through the grapevine, how I find out about things is always Facebook.
Oh my God.
That's how I find out events near me. I always got to check in.
Yeah.
So I came across an event and it was micro wrestling.
First of all, let's call it what it really was.
That's the name of it. It's called micro wrestling.
It's midget wrestling. For all the listeners want to know what is he talking about? Micro wrestling. He means midget wrestling. So it was midget little people wrestling.
When you say that, it hurts.
Why? You're tall.
Yeah, but they don't like it.
They love it.
Name one little person that you know.
Disco Dan. Lumberjack. Something.
Those were the wrestlers, bitch. That's
yeah,
not the
I know
same.
them.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let me start off with.
Okay.
So I came across this. It was just wrestling. There are no tall people, short people, big people. It's just pro wrestling. So I invited Jules. I said, I think this would be really fun.
Yeah.
Something that we can do, just podcast content.
Yeah.
So we bought the tickets.
I didn't buy the tickets.
Never do.
Pierre bought the tickets. For once in his life.
And it's always like, when I buy tickets in advance, I'm very optimistic that I'm going to go to it.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this sounds dope as fuck. Let me get these tickets.
Right.
And then the day came.
Yeah.
I had to remind Jules. I was like, hey, I don't know if you still want to do this, but we got the
midget wrestling coming up.
That's
what it's called.
It's called micro.
I call it midget. You call it micro. Tomato. Whatever.
I'm going to pray for you. So I reached out to Jules the day of. And I'm like, hey, are you still down?
Right.
Do you want to go to it? And I kind of left it as an asterisk because the day of, I did not want to go.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this, man. I'd much rather stay home.
It was in the middle of the week. It was like a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the weekend. So I had the same feelings. I'm a flake just like Pierre. I'm like, oh man. I was like looking at my schedule for the next day and I'm like, fuck, I got a meeting at 8.
You're a liar. You were like, yo, I got a TV show on Netflix. I'm binging. I'd much rather be at home.
I have a new TV show.
So we both wanted to flake.
We both wanted to flake, but he didn't make it obvious enough to me that he wanted to flake. So I was just like, yeah, Pierre, we're going. Like, put your shoes on. Let's go. Take your fucking flip-flops off and let's go.
And I remember right before we left, BJ felt some kind of way about it.
Oh, that's right.
Because she was like, oh, what are you doing tonight? And I didn't tell her. She was like,
it wasn't on the calendar?
No, it wasn't on the calendar. She was like, what are you doing tonight? I was like, oh, I'm going to go to a micro wrestling. It's a little people wrestling. And she was like, oh. Yeah, I don't think I want to go to that. And I was like, you weren't invited.
Yeah.
You were not invited, BJ.
Like, who said, BJ, I would like you to join me? Nobody said that.
Yeah.
We had to tell it how it is. I was like, all right, I'm going to fucking take, let me shotgun this beer real fast, this seltzer. And so I'm drinking it and I'm like, all right, we're taking a fucking roadie and I'm taking one to sneak in.
Because I don't know why we feel like security is like the TSA level.
Yes.
And the area we go to it's like Rhino. It's a
Right.
lot of white people.
It's a lot of white folks.
And white people love food courts for some fucking reason, man.
Yeah, I don't know why.
This event was held at a fucking food court.
Yeah.
And so we go down and we pay for parking, and Jules has the handicap parking.
First of all, Jules pays for parking because Pierre bought the tickets.
That I did. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. So we fucking park. We end up shotgunning the beers, and we're like, all right, let's go inside.
Yeah, we're ready now. Like, we're 2 beers in. Like, ya estuvo is good to go. Let's go.
And I remember Jules was like, I'm gonna take 2 beers in. I was like, don't bring those in. What if they search your fucking bag?
Yeah, what if they're going to get confiscated? And I was like, I'm just going to try it. So I had a crossbody bag on. And I was like, it'll be fine. Like, I'll fucking sneak these in. Let's just see how it goes.
Jules was like, if they say anything, I'll just drink them right outside the door.
Yeah. I was like, I can drink these fast. I can't drink them that fast. But I was just like, let's just see how it goes.
So as we're walking up, it's pretty busy because it's a Thursday night.
Right.
As we walk up, we see the wrestlers are actually enforcing the rules at the door.
They're the ones checking the IDs and they weren't checking IDs. They were only checking for tickets.
Yeah. So I walk up to this dude and I was like, he was like, tickets. And I just show him my phone with the tickets. Doesn't scan them. Doesn't do anything. He was like, all right, bet, you're good.
Yeah. He doesn't even slide the phone to see the second ticket. He only looks at the first ticket. And I was like, well, I'm with him.
So as we get past the first little person.
Yeah. The midget.
We go in, and, we're kind of in shock because I turn around and I look at Jules and I was like, bro, you got in with those beers.
Yeah.
Nobody checked us.
Yeah, nobody was like, what's in that crossbody bag, bitch? Why does it look like it's drooping?
And I'm not dressed as security. I feel like I was just wearing a black t-shirt.
You're just wearing a black shirt, yeah.
My classic, no, you can't search my car t-shirt.
Yeah.
As we probably get like 2 feet, and we're just standing there trying to fucking get the vibe.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out where should we go? Where are we, like, do we go right? Do we go left? Do we go forward? Like, where do we go?
And immediately, a white cis male comes up to me, and he was like, oh, can I come out here with my beer? And I look at him, and I was like, what? He was like, oh, can I come out here with my beer? I was like, I don't fucking work here, bud.
Not the help.
And I choose to believe it's not because of my body size, but because he saw a Mexican man, and he figured, oh, he must be here to serve me.
Yeah.
Do I look like, I don't think I look like a bouncer.
You give off the aura of security.
I don't think so.
You do. The way you hold your hands, the way you stand, like you're just, it's ingrained in you at this point. I'm just saying.
Okay, so long story short, as we walk in, there's only like one bar. It's a food court.
Yeah.
So we go up to the fucking bar, we get our drinks, and we're trying to get situated, and there's a fuck ton of people.
It was a lot. But the crowd was older white men.
It's a certain type of white man, because, Colorado has a lot of different type of variations of white men.
Right. I agree.
Like the outdoorsy, but this was angry, white, American flag.
Brother,
Hell yeah, brother.
We're a lot of brothers.
Fuck, man.
Not brothers, but brothers.
So it took us a while before we finally found a spot that we liked. As a Christian man, it's my job to judge people.
Yeah.
And I was definitely judging people. And it was not only the dudes, but the females that were there.
First of all, it was like 4 other females there besides me. There was not very many females. It was all brothers. That's all you saw, like older white men.
True. 50s. 50s
yeah.
white men.
Yeah.
And, we ran through the beers real fucking fast.
Yeah.
And so we find a good spot. And at this point, I already run through all my fucking beers.
Right.
And I'm like, Jules, you'll be all right. Save this goddamn spot.
No, hold on. When we walked in, I told Pierre, I was like, how many people, like, what percentage of this crowd do you think has an addiction to midget porn? Because
why did that come into your head?
Because, like, all of the people there, they can't just be innocently there for wrestling. You're not all wrestling fans. Like, there are people with fantasies of midget people.
Yeah.
And so Pierre's looking
Little
at me
people.
like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, how many people do you think here watch midget porn? I'm just curious.
And you didn't whisper it, bitch. We're around a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You were like, how many people you think here watch midget porn? And I was like, oh my God. Jules, fucking chill, bud. Whisper that shit.
Serious.
Whisper.
He didn't give me an answer, but I think at least like 15% of those people were there just because they have midget fantasies.
So we were like middle. We weren't front row, but we were like in the middle.
Yeah.
In case some shit popped off, we could dip out.
Yeah.
And I remember all we kept talking about was like, look, there's a fucking window right there. We didn't have to pay for tickets. We could have just stood right outside this
Yeah.
goddamn window and watched the whole thing.
Yeah. Or one of the midgets is gonna get thrown into the window. Like,
You gotta say that word so
because
aggressive.
that's what they're called.
Little
I'm
people.
telling a story.
LP.
I'm telling a story.
Okay.
So the ring was right next to like these huge windows, and I was like, dude, one of these fucking midgets can get thrown through the window. They really could. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then there was a flag hanging right by the window. So they take out the flag, y todo. It's not supposed to touch the ground. I don't know the rules. Whatever.
So it said it was going to start at 8 o'clock.
Right.
We got there. We're in our fucking spot. We're down.
Right.
Finally, they come out and they started talking and shit, but the sound system was horrible.
Oh my God.
When you're old like us, I was like, what? What?
What did
What
they say?
did
Can
we
you
say?
repeat that? Well, do you remember they had a little kid? One of the midgets took his kid there. I don't know if his kid was like regular size or not, but his kid's like, I came to see my dad, Disco Dan, kick some ass.
And you're like, fuck your dad.
Dying. No, I was dying. I was just like, yeah, fuck him up. Don't let your kid down. I was like, be a present dad. I was clapping. I was so happy. I was so happy that there was a child there that had a supportive father. It was great. It was great.
So now the show starts.
Right.
They start off with the national anthem.
Oh my God. That was funny.
And they stayed off there like, hey, we're now presenting, we're going to do the national anthem. If you have a hat, please remove it.
Very respectful.
And there was no flag. There was no American flag.
There was a flag hanging. It was hanging on by the ring by the window.
I didn't see that. I remember people were like, "Where's the fucking flag?" Because you're supposed to stare at the flag and then put your hand over your heart.
It was by the window. It was by the window.
And it was a recording. There was nobody singing that shit.
Nobody was actually singing it. It was just like YouTube national anthem Fergie. It wasn't Fergie.
I feel some kind of way about this, so I'm gonna let you tell the story about what happened. I played football in high school. I was varsity. You know what I'm saying? We show respect for that goddamn song.
So this fucking guy, like, I couldn't see him at first. He was to our left. And he starts yelling, America! Fuck yeah, brother! Yeah! And we're just like, calm down, brother.
You're supposed to be quiet.
Yeah. And he's like, he's amped to a 10, bro. Like, for no reason. And his friends are like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. And he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, America, America.
I remember we looked at each other.
Yeah.
And we were like, how dare you, sir? We disrespected a lot of shit, but I was like, during the national anthem, motherfucker, shut the fuck up and take your goddamn hat off.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't take his hat off. He didn't take his hat off. He was some...
These little young bucks. He was a little youngin'.
Whatever. See, he had too many beers at this point.
But a lot of people wanted to fuck him up.
Yeah, exactly. But then we decided we're going to do dollar bets, right?
Yeah, because we like to be... It's fun.
It's not about the money that you win. It's about the bragging rights. Just the winning experience. Just the whole fucking experience. It's a dollar bet. You're not risking your fucking 401k. And so Pierre and I, we agree. It's a dollar bet, and neither one of us can bet on the person until both opponents come out. They've both been introduced to the ring. Then we each pick our winner, and we bet $1 on that. Those were the rules.
Those are rules.
Yes, them's were the rules. So Pierre ends up leaving me. And he's like, oh, I got to go get more beers. And I'm like, fine, motherfucker. I still got another one in my bag here, in my little satchel. And so I pull my last beer out and I start drinking it, right? Nobody said anything. Nobody noticed.
Yeah.
They weren't selling White Claws, but magically I was the only
Nobody
bitch
gave
with
a
White
fuck.
Claws. Yeah, nobody cared. So then I start seeing a little ruckus happening in front of me. And I was like, ooh, bitch, what's about to go down? So it's this tall, old white man, like 50 years old. And all I see his shoulders like square up. And he's like, I don't move. And I look to his side to see who he's yelling at. And it's this black lesbian girl.
You don't know that.
She was.
You don't know if she was black.
She was with her
Nor
girlfriend.
do you know if she was a lesbian.
She had a motherfucking
She was
mohawk.
a person wearing overalls and had multicolored hair.
Yeah. And she was wearing a mohawk. She had a mohawk. And she was with her white girlfriend.
That could have been a roommate.
No, that was her girlfriend. So I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what's about to go? This girl's like 20 years old. fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you. Because what ended up happening was I realized she was trying to cut in front of him.
Yeah.
She was trying to come from the back because she thought that she had pretty girl privilege, which she did not. And she tried to cut in front of everybody. And I was like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, if I can't get in front of them, you can't get in front of me. And he's like, I don't move. I don't move. He just keeps repeating that.
Give me your best impression of how he said it.
I don't move. Squaring his shoulders up like that. So anyway, and so she's going off, and he's like, shut up, fucking lesbian. She's like, fuck you. All she was saying was, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you. And then she ends up cutting across some white dudes. And she gets to the front, and she's just like standing there watching the fucking fight. Yeah. I was like, ooh, I can't stand a bitch that wins like that. Like, fuck you, bro. Like, you didn't come here early enough to get to the front. You want to cut in front of all the people that have been waiting here. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
This is Colorado. We got rights.
Whatever. No, she just thought because she was a female that she can cut in front of all these dudes.
You don't know if she was female.
Don't
assume her gender.
Whatever.
Don't
her
assume
pronouns were she, her, him.
Don't assume her genders.
Whatever.
So,
go ahead.
While all that happened, I looked at Jules and I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. Save this spot. I'll be right back.
But he left before anything started going down.
Yeah, I missed all that.
He missed the whole fucking show.
So I dip out. I go to the bathroom. And on the way to the bathroom, it's a food court.
Right.
There's only one fucking bathroom.
Right.
The bathroom was gross as fuck. I know we always talk about restrooms.
Yeah.
This bathroom was gross as fuck, man. It was piss all over the place. So I go to the bathroom and I was like, let me get another drink.
Yeah.
So I go up to the bartender and I was like, can I get let me get a beer real quick.
Yeah.
Pierre, I stand by my fucking morals.
Mm-hmm.
This bartender, she had a low-cut shirt.
Yeah, she did.
She had her zipper down and she was like, well, if you get a bucket, it's a lot cheaper. I was like, don't talk to me like that.
What did I ask you for, bitch? Did I say, can you tell me what's the cheaper route?
I
didn't say
give me
none of
two
that.
fucking beers.
Yeah.
And that's it. She was like, there's nothing else you want? I was like, nah, but I know you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a temptress when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. BJ sent you here.
Fuck that shit. So I end up getting my beers. I go back to Jules. She tells me all this.
Yeah.
Not only does Jules tell me this, she also befriended the two people behind us.
Yes.
People I don't even fucking know are telling me this story.
Yep. I become a social butterfly when I'm out and about.
But it's a certain type of people who flock to you.
Yeah. I know. It's all the trauma people. And it was funny because I was like, yo, he almost fucking punched her. Like, I'm making up all of these stories. And so Pierre comes back and I was like, yo, you fucking missed the show. This fool almost fought this lesbian black chick. And he's like, what the fuck? And I was like, and then he kept squaring up. I don't move. And Pierre's like, oh my God, I'm kind of glad I missed all that. And I was like, bro, you're stupid. Like, you shouldn't have missed any of that. But the first fight happens between Lumberjack and Hot Rod. So I pick Lumberjack, right?
Yeah.
Pierre picks Hot Rod. And can you tell the listeners who won?
Why are we going to jump with the gun?
Let's tell them who won.
They both come out and they both do like a 20-minute spiel.
Yeah, they do.
Wrestle.
They talk. Oh, my God. They read novels to you.
Jules won. Long story short, fucking Jules won. And she can't be humble about it. You can't
be. Give me my money. Run me my check.
You can't be humble about it.
Sure the fuck can't. Run me my money, homie.
And you know I only had $2 on me, bitch.
You shouldn't have started betting.
I opened my Velcro wallet. You're like, run that
Pull
shit.
out the quarters.
And Jules started showing the dollars to everybody around her. She was like, yeah, I won that shit. I was like, all right, you fucking won.
You do too much.
It was a good wrestling match.
It was good. But nobody thought that Lumberjack was going to win. And so I was just like, come on. Because Hot Rod was like, he was the black midget. And he was like, he was. And he was the fancy. He was.
Just try it one time.
Whatever.
Little person.
I don't want to say it. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not that person. So everybody thought because he was a flashy one and that he was faster than Lumberjack that he was going to beat Lumberjack. And that's not what happened. He fucking lost.
Bet on white.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, white is right, man. And so I win. And then I end up making friends with Shane and his friends. So the guy, I don't move, his name is Shane. I made friends with him and all of his homies that came with him. He had like 4 other friends. And I'm going to tell you all about it. Well, Pierre left me to my own devices.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Whatever.
Right? I had to deal with vomit in the sink. It was a gross ass experience, it was gross.
Your gender is disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Your gender is disgusting.
Women's restrooms are pretty bad.
I'm just saying we didn't have vomit in the sink. When I went to the bathroom, I was telling the bitches in there, I was like, at least this ain't like the men's restroom. They got vomit in the sink. They were like, ew, gross. And I was like, yeah.
Well, sorry, bitch. I need another beer. I'm out.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're gonna be right back, guys.
Hey.
All right, motherfuckers. Let's go into the abyss.
Open that shit.
One for me, because ladies first. You get your own shit.
I think the podcast has proven you are no fucking lady.
I'm a lady!
Bitch, you are no lady.
I'm a fucking lady! Anyway, you ready?
Damn.
There we go. 3, 2.
Hey.
Diablo. Say it with your balls or don't say it at all.
Diablo.
There we go.
Only because you paid for it. That's the only fucking reason, bud.
I paid for these. I didn't pay for that. Anyway, we were talking about the friends that I made, right?
I'm easily bought.
You are. You're easily bought. But we were talking about the friends that I made at the midget wrestling. So, okay. Pierre, again, he leaves me to my own devices. Like, what am I supposed to do?
I didn't come in with beers, bitch.
I know I did.
I didn't sneak my own beers in.
Yeah,
I had to go buy beers.
Yeah, I know. You should have been smarter, homie. Should have been fucking smarter. So, Pierre leaves me again to, like, go pee and go get more beers. And so, I end up, like, with the courage to tell... I don't move, dude. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, good on you for not letting that chick get in front of you. He was like, what's up? My name's Shane. I was like, what's up, Shane? I'm Jules. And he's like, this is my friend so-and-so. This is my friend so-and-so. This is my friend Ben. I was like, what's up, Bend over? And because that's the only one that I could make fun of. I didn't know the other. I don't remember the other guys' names. They were little.
You didn't even listen. You just heard the last name.
Yeah. Well, because they were like little Hispanic dudes. So I'm not gonna make fun of gente. But I saw this white man. And I was like, "What up, Ben? Bend over." And he was dying laughing. And I was like, "Hey, I'm doing dollar bets. Who wants to get in on this?" One of the little Mexican boys was like, "I want to get in on it." And I was like, "Bet." I was like, "All right, the next one. Here are the rules. Both people have to come out."
Thank you for recognizing that they're people.
They're midget people. They're little people.
I mean, you didn't have to say that part. You could just say they're people. But I appreciate you recognizing
both wrestlers have to come out before you pick who your wrestler is, right? And so the guy comes out. I don't remember the guy's name, but he comes out first. And he was like, fuck, that's my dude. And I was like, no, you can't pick him yet. And he was like, no, that's my dude. And I was like, all right, fine. So then Disco Dan comes out. And I was like, that's my fucking dude. Because why? He brought his kid. And you know that wrestling is arranged, prearranged. So I said, there's no fucking way
allegedly
that they're going to allow his child to see him get his ass beat. So that was my thinking, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, bet. So, okay, fine. So he's like, yeah, take him, Disco Dan. How gay is that? And I was like, I don't give a fuck what his name is.
That was your opportunity to be like, you shouldn't say that.
Why? I'm not like that. That's not my people.
Okay, continue.
So anyway, so they start coming out and then they're... Disco Dan starts losing, like off the rip, he's losing. And he's like, yeah, fuck him up. He's like, in your face, Disco Dan. And I was like, don't worry about it, homie. He's coming back. He just went to go get some milk. He'll be right back, homie. So then it turns out that Disco Dan does win. And I get my dollar. And I was like, run, just like I do to Pierre. I was like, run me my money. He was like, fuck, I don't have a dollar. I was like, listen, I take Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. What you got, homie? I was like, don't tell me you don't got a dollar.
You're like, talk to some of your fucking friends, but maybe they got a dollar.
And so he was like, fuck. So he asked some dude for $1. And the guy has to give him $1. And I was like, run me my money. I was like, and I don't want change. I don't want quarters. And he was like, damn, like, you're mean. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
He was like, you remind me of my mom.
Yeah. You could tell that he was like into it. He was like, all right, what's your name again?
Oh my God.
He loved it. And I was like, I'm here with my brother. Okay, I can't.
Because they were worried about me.
Yeah, they were because
I don't think we give off that vibe.
No, like we're just. I think because you look like security, they think that you're like securing.
Don't say
everybody.
that. I don't
You
look
do.
like security.
You
I look like
security.
a person. Look at this person.
At least you don't look like a midget. I mean, they don't confuse you for midgets.
I look like a person.
Whatever. So I was just like, no, I'm here with my brother, and I was like, calm down. Like I can't be flirting with motherfuckers when I'm hanging with my brother. And he was like, all right, what's up?
Some motherfuckers were looking too. I was like, what's up, bud? What do you want to do?
This is my sister. Leave her alone. And then. So I make friends with all of these random people.
While I'm gone.
Yes. Pierre comes back and they're telling me, they're like, why do you have so many dollars? Do you work at a strip club? And I was like, I don't work at a fucking strip club. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, I'm sorry. Like some other random guy. He was like, I'm sorry. Here, have some beer out of my bucket. And I was like, yeah, you goddamn right. So I fucking take a beer out of his bucket. I fucking chug that beer before Pierre gets back.
You know the rules. When you take a beer from a guy, then you have to talk to him.
No, hombre. I was already talking to.
And you didn't get a beer for me, bitch. Just a beer for you.
I told you. I said, do you want a beer? I said they're offering beers, and Pierre was like, I'm not having some fucking random man's beer. And I was like, well, I did. Anyway, because he called me a stripper, and that was his fucking apology. He had to make up for calling me a stripper. I was like, who the fuck are you talking to, homie? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. He was like, here's a beer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. And I was like, you goddamn right.
I was like, but when's the last time you seen a stripper with big ass shoulders, dog? You ain't never seen a stripper with big ass shoulders, dog.
I don't move. And so anyway, Pierre comes back, and then the next battle comes on, right? Or the next round.
No, it's intermission.
Oh, it's intermission. You're right.
There's 2 fights and then intermission.
That's right. Who was intermission? Which midget? I'm sorry. Which midget entertained us?
So now it's the intermission. And at this point, the referee, the whole fight has been a smaller African-American fellow.
You were about to say midget.
No, I wasn't. So
Future Jules, rewind that tape.
He goes by the name of Little Mike.
He does.
Michael Jackson. And the only issue I had with him was I was like, Michael Jackson never had dreads, bud.
Yeah, he did have dreads. The referee had
But
dreads.
he does a whole fucking he's like proud of that set.
He is.
He does Billie Jean. He does all the classics.
Criminal.
All that shit. He has the fucking glove. It was a really good halftime. It was a really good fucking halftime. It was a good time for me to process that Jules not only just made friends, but made friends with the most disgusting white men in the whole arena.
Whatever.
I was like, bitch, why'd you have to make friends with the dude who's about to punch the black lesbian?
Because I was proud of him. I was like, you know what? Congratulations for you for standing up and not letting some random bitch get in front of you. I was proud of him. Unlike those other motherfuckers that let her get in front of them, I was like, stand up for yourself. Grow some balls. Let's go.
Fuck out of here.
Say it with your chest. And he did. He said it with his shoulders.
No. And it was wild because when I came back, Jules was collecting.
Yeah.
I came back and I just saw Jules say, run me that money. Give me the fucking money.
I was like, run me my money, homie.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Exactly.
And I was talking to Jules for a little bit. I was like, what I miss? And she was like, oh, that's Ben right there. We call him Bend Over.
Me. He loved it. Like, and we were like pounding. He was like, all right. He was like, I'm next. So he took it upon himself. He saw that I was going to win. He saw that I won against you. He saw that I won against his friend, and he still wanted some of that smoke. So I don't feel bad for Bend Over. So he's like, all right, I got you next. And I was like, all right, bet.
No, bitch, tell the truth. The dude started talking shit and was like, oh, I got money. And you were like, yo, is that your fucking friend over there? He was like, oh, yeah, that's my son. And you were like, oh, the retard?
No, that's
retarded.
Not who said it. That's not who said it, but I will tell you about that. I did call somebody a retard. I called Shane's son a retard, but it was on accident. So I didn't know that was his son. But anyway, so I collect all of my fucking money, and then the fight happens. The next people,
you sit there counting it.
Yeah.
1, 2.
And so me and Ben go, and it's Mr. Nice Guy against Chief. A little Bigfoot or Big Chief or something. Anyway, I'm like,
He's a little racist.
I don't care.
I hope he's native and not just some random Mexican dude.
I said the Chief was going to win. He said Mr. Nice Guy was going to win. And I was like, Whack, whack. What a stupid name. I was like, nah, the motherfucker with the headdress, he's gonna fucking take it. I was like, him and his ancestors gonna fuck your dude up. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, that's how we fucking play here. And I was like, all his ancestors aren't midgets. Like, he's just a little one out of all of them. So we're going on and on. And he's like, all right, bet. So they fight, and guess who the fuck wins?
Jules.
Jules wins. And I was like, run me my money. Again. And so he's like, fuck, I don't got $1. And I was like, well, you better fucking find $1. And he ends up giving me $1. And then I had too many drinks at this point. And he was like, no, my dude won. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, my dude won. Look, look, look. And I was like,
He's trying to gaslight you.
yeah. And I was like, no. I was like, the fucking fight already ended. He was like, no, look, he won. I was like, you know what, Ben? If you're so hard up for the $1, take the $1.
He had to cut him down.
So I give him the $1 back, and I was like, here you go, homie. It's fine. It's not a big fucking deal. He was like, no, it's not
There's
like
a crumpled ass dollar.
Yeah, it was. It was from the gin mill. It had like writing on it. It was
Here's
taped
your
together.
$1.
I was like, here you go, homie. All right. I was like, I was going to give it to the homeless motherfucker, but you take it. You take it. You need it more than him. So Ben took the $1, and that's fine. Whatever.
At this point, I felt embarrassed.
Why? Of who?
Because you were running every fucking
was.
dude that was around us. You were like, yo, he owes me $1, you owe me $1, you owe me $1.
Yep.
I was like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Again. To get away from me.
So at this point, I go to the restroom, and, I put up stickers. Mm-hmm. On the way back, I was like, let me get a quick beer. I go up to a chick, and I was like, let me just get like a regular, because I'm cheap as fuck.
Right.
I was like, let me get a PBR. She was like, we don't have it. I was like, all right, well, what other beer do you have? She was like, we don't have it. I was like, what fucking beer do you have?
The mini ones.
She was like, we're all out of beer. All we have left are the small Coronas.
The Coronitas.
And these are 8-ounce beers.
Yeah. Who the fuck does 8 ounces?
And me, I'm thinking, all right, well, it's gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me get one of those. How much it cost? How much
know.
do you think she said that cost?
$5.
I fucking wish. $7.
$7
for a small fucking Corona.
That's mouthwash to me. The fuck out of here. 8
I bought
ounces.
it. I bought it.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
So I can't believe they ran out of fucking beer though.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, what the fuck? How do you run out of beer?
Yeah.
I get the shit and I go back to Jules, and it's the very last. It's the third match.
It's already the end. It's the end. Yeah.
And as I'm drinking this, I was like, Jules, I want to go home.
Yeah, he was like,
I don't like this no more.
You're embarrassing me. They ran out of beer.
I was like, you've given your phone number out to like 5 dudes.
I didn't give my number to nobody. I will be very fucking
Everybody around us knew your fucking name.
Yeah, they did. They were like,
I was like, it's embarrassing.
They were like, who do you know? Like, who do you know on the inside that fucking told you the results of the matches? And I was like, homie, I'm just that good. That's how I fucking roll.
I was like, I want to fucking leave now.
But before that happened, I was asking my new friends, I was like, how are you guys getting home? And they're like, oh, we got a DD. And I was like, what? I was like, who's your fucking DD? And so they point at this guy that looks like he's on the spectrum. And I go, is he all right?
What made you think he was on the spectrum?
He was staring at the fucking lights, bro.
I stare at lights, bitch.
He was going like this with his fingers. He was going like this with his fingers.
Yeah, that's that shit where they're right there.
Yeah, he was stimming.
Okay.
Stimming.
Okay,
and so I was like, so I look at him and I'm like, is he all right? And then Shane comes up right behind me. He was like, that's my son.
And he don't move.
And
he doesn't move either.
And I was like, oh, I was just asking like if he drank beers, because dude, Shane can fuck me up. And so Shane is like, yeah, that's my son. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just asking if he had like beers because everybody's been drinking. I'm trying so hard to get out of what I just caused myself. Like, I know that he knows that I called this kid retarded. Okay, I know that he knows, and he's like, yeah, he's okay. He only had one beer.
He votes. He's American. He votes.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I'm just like, I got a $70,000 truck, and I was like, whoa, damn, Shane, like you got money. And I'm just, I don't know what else to say. And he was like, yeah, it's not 2024, but it's $70,000. And I was like, well, he better be careful with that $70,000. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go with my brother. Okay, see you later. Bye. Book it. And I was like, Shango, fuck me up for calling his kid retarded. But it was so funny. He was like, Ben, he was like, or bend over. He was like, he's a good guy. He has a good head on his shoulders. And I was like, that motherfucker he's not okay.
That
He's not
motherfucker
okay.
knows all the squirrels in his neighborhood.
Yes, he makes his friends are the squirrels. I was just like, Jules, I need to shut the fuck up sometimes.
Shane would hit you.
Yeah, he would
When I
hit
looked
me.
at Shane, I was like, that's the type of dude who would punch a fucking female.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not trying to be that female. Anyway, I think that's all that happened. We left early. But we also, well, not we. You went on another outing recently.
Hold on, bitch. I gotta pee.
Oh my god. Anyway, Pierre was guilted into the next outing. But we're gonna get
That's what you do best.
as is exactly who the fuck you think guilted him into it? Not I, said the cat. Anyway, we'll be right back, guys.
Hey.
All right, motherfuckers. The only one of us has a drink to crack, so the honors go to.
Moi.
But you better fucking say Diablo with your balls. Don't
I
say
don't.
What?
When you tell me what to
Run me
do,
my money.
I don't want to do it.
Run me my money. That's the title of this episode. Run me my money.
Diablo.
Diablo. All right, motherfuckers. All right, so we finished the midget wrestling stories. Now we're going to talk about what?
We did the whole segment. You can't even try to say little people.
I said it once. I said the people.
Okay.
Anyway, so
I try to save you.
Pierre was, I don't give a fuck. Mira, if there's a listener, let's take a quick skirt. If there's a fucking listener that is offended by the word midget, we don't need you to be your listener, okay? If you that short that you care, if you're related to somebody who would be offended by the word, mira, me la pelas, okay? I don't
If you're
care.
a person and you have feelings and you're offended, then Jules don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. So let's keep it pushing. Anyway, so also, they're the listeners, the old time listeners or the long time listeners, they know about Smokey Bandit, our nephew Jordan, right?
Yeah. So recently it was his 21st birthday.
Right.
Before I start the story, me and BJ, we went out the same night.
Right.
We went out, we hung out with a friend, and we stayed up later than we should have.
Right.
I did not know the Smokey Bandit was going to be coming to my house. He came over to Jules' house, and then Jules passed him off to us.
Sure did. I left him there too, and I was like, "Hey, see you later, deuces."
It was his 21st birthday.
Right.
Came to the house, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's my birthday tonight." And Jules
No, he
was
said
like,
it's my birthday tomorrow.
tomorrow. And Jules was like, "Pierre should take you out for your birthday.
Yeah, he should.
He should take you out and have a good time." At this point, I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you signing up? Why are you signing me up for shit?"
Yeah. And Pierre was like, "Oh yeah, maybe, bud. Like, maybe. Like, let me know. I don't know what time."
I left the flake era.
Yeah.
I'm a flake. I leave a lot of wiggle room. I was like, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. It
Yeah.
depends.
Let me know, and then we'll talk about it. And I was like, he didn't even have a dad, and you want to fucking do that to him? Like, you know what it's like to not have a dad. You gonna do that to him? Pierre was like, you fucking bitch.
Trips the fuck out of me.
Yup. Sure the fuck did. Run me my money.
So at this point, I was like, all right, bet. I'll take you out, mijo. I'll take you out for your 21st birthday.
Yeah.
As the podcast listeners know, I worked downtown for a long time.
God, don't remind us.
So I was like, bet. I'll take you out.
Right.
So before I linked up with our nephew, I was like, let me go downtown. Just let me see what the vibe is.
Mm-hmm.
So I go downtown and I get fucked up even before I'm supposed to meet my nephew.
Right.
BJ has to pick me up.
It happens.
The nephew's supposed to be there at the house at 6:30.
Right.
He gets there and he's already fucked up.
Like uncle, like nephew.
I was like, mijo, what the... Bro, why are you fucked? I'm going to take you to get fucked up. Why are you already fucked up?
He was like, my mom.
Long story short, we go downtown. We go to Lodo's. And I got to get something in his belly.
Right.
I was like, yo, you got to eat some shit.
Right.
We go down there, and my nephew, I don't like to judge, especially as a Christian man. But this motherfucker was like, I don't drink beer.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? I think he tried to come off as like, badass.
Little bougie, little pinky up.
Yeah.
But I was like, what do you mean you don't drink beer? He was like, God, shit makes me blood. All I drink is tequila.
You gonna learn today, homie.
So we start off by getting some food in our stomach, and I was like, I bet we're gonna go downtown. I'm gonna show you bartender etiquette.
Right.
Cause little motherfuckers can go downtown all the live long day, but like if you want love, you gotta know the bartenders. You gotta know some shit.
Yeah.
After we get our wings, we end up meeting up with a coworker.
Your coworker.
Yeah, my coworker.
Yeah.
Fucking Bruno.
Okay.
And we go down to a bar and we start getting fucked up. Cause it's hard when someone only drinks liquor.
Yeah.
When people don't drink beer.
No, you gotta drink beer, homie. That's what keeps the night going. Like stick to something like a 4.5, a 5 point whatever. Stick to like you gonna be like 38% alcohol. Shut the fuck. Nobody respects you more. Nobody respects you more.
So we go out on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
We start drinking. And then we keep going to bars. And it's been a minute since I've been downtown.
Right.
It's been 5 years since I bounced downtown.
Yeah.
So we go down to a few spots. We get a little fucked up. And then I was like, I bet. Let's go to Retro.
Okay.
Mexicans in Denver know about Retro Room.
Right.
People get fucked up there.
Yeah, because the shots.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm like, I gotta watch out for my nephew because if he pukes, yes, tú.
Yeah.
I was like, if you puke, that's it. Night is over, bro.
Yeah. We don't have toothbrushes with us. We can't you don't got no mouthwash. Like, it ruins the night. I'm not doing it.
No. So we end up going to a couple bars, and the very last night, I was like, all right, BJ's picking us up.
Right.
Because I'm not driving.
Right.
I was like, BJ, pick us up after your workout, and we'll be all right.
Right.
So we go to like the second to last bar. We do some shots, and immediately I was like, let's go to the very last bar.
Right.
Which is called Herbs. I would say it's like a bartender's bar.
It is.
It's a very chill, it's a dive bar.
It really is a dive bar.
I was like, let's go there. It's going to be the end of the night. It's going to be chill as fuck. So we go there, and I know a couple people there, and we start shaking hands and like having drinks. At this point, our boy Bruno
Right.
is there. And this motherfucker has been drinking for a minute.
All day.
So I was like, I bet you're going to pay for this round of drinks.
Right.
And so I was like, bet, let me get, quick beer. And at this point, this bar has swivel chairs. Like old school, like, I don't know how to describe it, but
They're
like.
called swivel chairs.
Yeah, they're swivel chairs. So he goes to like reach out to this fucking chair, falls on the floor
Oh my God.
as we're ordering a drink, and immediately was like, that's embarrassing. And I look at him, and I was like, I'm not helping you up.
No, you can't.
I look at the bartender, I was like, yo, let me get a quick shot of Jack and a fucking Diet Coke back.
Yeah.
Our nephew, he's new to the game. He helps him up. We get our drinks. We're having a good time.
Right.
And BJ's picking us up.
Right.
Because I was like, I can't drink and drive. BJ is going to pick us up. She ended up working out and was like, I'm going to pick you guys up. And oh boy, he fell. Bruno was like, hey, bring her in. Let's have a drink. I was like, yo, she don't like that shit.
She just came from working out.
She does not want to fuck with us, bro.
Yeah. You get in the car.
We get in the car, and I was like, oh, we're going to drop fucking Bruno off. And in my mind, I know how it is. Like, when you're picking up drunk people, you don't want to fuck with them.
Right. You just want the music and the GPS y ya estuvo.
She was like, what's the address? I was like, I'm going to tell you. I was like, you're going to go down. You're going to go down 3 lights, and you're going to make it right. She did not fuck with that shit. So we ended up dropping him off. But, like, it reminded me of my 21st birthday. Like, my 21st birthday, I was wilding the fuck out.
Right.
Do you remember your 21st?
I do remember my 21st. We went out to a bar,
What
to a
year
club.
was that?
It doesn't matter, motherfucker, because I'm 40. So
Was
anyway,
it before 9/11? It was. Wasn't
No,
it?
because 9/11 was 2021.
Oh, one.
Oh, one, whatever. 20. Yeah, it was 2001. Yeah, 2001.
Tell
No,
me about your 21st.
doesn't matter. So anyway, we went to a club. Okay, and so I went to the bathroom to go pee, and everything is cool, and you wash
it
your
church?
hands. I think it was church.
Fuck.
And so I go, and this chick who got out of the stall at the same time as me, she goes and she shoulder checks me. She's like, "Excuse you," to get into the sink, and I was like, "Did you just motherfucking shoulder check me to wash the piss off of your hands?"
My father don't shoulder check me.
Yo, I lost my ever loving mind. And I was like, "Excuse me? The fuck out of my way, bitch." And she was like, "I said, excuse you." So we start boxing in the middle of the fucking bathroom over the sink. Because she showed, you're not going to shoulder check me on my 21st birthday, bitch. You're not going to shoulder check me. So we start fucking boxing. Security comes out. They fucking kick us both out. And I was like, "Fuck you, bitch." I was like, "At least I washed my hands." It was terrible. Anyway.
What year was this? 97?
It was after 2001.
Don't lie.
It was after 2001. I graduated in 04, motherfucker. Anyway. So, that was my 21st birthday. Tell me, I remember that I know we talked about this on the podcast, but Pierre is known for taking people out on their 21st birthday.
I am sympathetic.
You're not sympathetic.
So we've talked about this back in the day. So one of my really good friends, John Hearn.
Ex good friends.
I mean, we're still good. I follow with him. Like, if he asked me for $10, I would give him 10.
I wouldn't give him $10. Right.
And he had a younger brother. I don't like to judge, but this motherfucker looked like a sureño. Shaved head. He looked like a sureño.
Right.
So I was like, bet, let's take him out for his 21st birthday.
To the church. Oh,
To the church. But I knew that's where the bitches were.
I ain't no bitch. I'm a lady. Continue. Anyway, you guys went, you got him fucked up, and then what happened?
So we go to this fucking club. It's very much a club. We go there, we have a few drinks, and I'm a cheap ass motherfucker, bro. So if you put your drink down, I would scoop that shit up and I would go to the bathroom and I'd chug that shit.
Yeah.
So I got this fool fucked up because I'm like, yo, it's your 21st birthday, we're gonna get fucked up. At this point, we're outside on the patio because that's where people smoke.
Yeah, this is back when you could smoke in the bar.
And it's his 21st birthday, and I see him like swing. He's like fucked up.
Weekend at Bernie's all of a sudden.
I was like, hey, yo, John's brother, are you all right?
Right.
He's laid the fuck out. He's like leaning hard. He looks at me. He was like, I'm good. And immediately he pukes on my face.
I could not help puking back. I would projectile vomit back into their face. If somebody threw up on my face, you're getting it right back.
But at that moment, you're not processing it.
No, I would smell it and it would immediately come out. Ya estuvo.
So he pukes on my face, and I immediately was like, I gotta wash this off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I go downstairs to the restroom, and I was like, and they have like, what do you call them?
Cheap
Bathroom
paper
attendants?
towels.
No, bathroom attendants?
Yeah, bathroom attendants.
He looked at me. He was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Let's
This
me go
is vomit.
Yeah. Let's me go to the sink. I wash this shit off. And I snitch on him.
Actually, I would have too.
He was like, what happened to you? What
Who did this to you?
who did this?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, it's a dude on the patio. He ended up getting kicked out.
Yeah. He should have. I'm glad. I would have done the same thing. I was like, that motherfucker right there threw up in my face. Fucking get him out of here.
I didn't learn my lesson after that.
No, you still taking people out for 21st birthdays. Yeah. But can I tell you a real quick story before we end?
What?
I went on a date recently. We went to a comedy show. It was a comedy show inside of a brewery. Is that how you say that? Brewery?
You gotta say it with the R. Brewery.
Brewery. Whatever. I don't know how you say that. Anyway, so we go, and the comedy show, they talk about the people that own the property behind the comedy show, and that they call the cops on them all the time. That they're too loud, whatever, because they open up the doors.
Yeah.
And the audio comes out, and they're doing comedy, and so they call the cops, and they're like, "Fuck them guys!" And so they bring the audience into it. It was a fun time. It was a great fucking time. The guy ended up laying on the floor for some reason. It doesn't matter, but after that, we end up going bar hopping, And this is again, it's like, I think it might have been a Friday. It had to have been a Friday. And so we go and we end up at some bar, and then we go to another bar, and then we go to another bar. And all of these times I'm drinking, right? I had like 4 drinks at the fucking comedy place. Every bar we go to, I have at least 1 drink. And we end up at this one bar, and we come out of the door, and this girl immediately accosts me. And she was like, hey, are you here to buy trinkets? Yeah, that's white people words. Yeah, bitch. I speak like them. And she's like, are you here to buy trinkets? And I was like, I don't know what trinkets are, but no, I don't think that I'm here to. She was like, look at my cranes. I said, what? She was selling paper cranes for $1. I said, I only have a $5. And I said, can you make me 5 cranes? And she said, yes, bitch, I can make you 5 cranes. And I said, well, hurry the fuck up. And she said,
were you fucking with her, or were you genuinely
I was drunk
her?
and I wanted 5 cranes.
Yo, bitch, you make 5?
Yeah, I was like, I only have a $5 bill. And I was like, I'm not going to give you my 20s. But I did have a $5 bill. I had one $5 bill. I didn't have any ones. And she said, I can make you these cranes. And I said, bet, bitch. And she said, but can you watch my table while I go make your cranes? And I was like, watch your table. So then I look, and she had a fucking canvas with like 400 cranes, little cranes that make a big crane. And then she had a sign that said $1 cranes. And I was like, all right, I guess we'll watch your table.
It was origami.
It was origami paper cranes. And she was Asian. She was.
Oh, she was Asian?
She was Asian.
Okay, I was like, if she was white, it'd be an issue.
No. She was Asian. And so she's like, I'll be right back. And I was like, did she just fucking steal my $5? And I was like, if that bitch don't come back in 5 minutes, I'm taking her fucking origami, her canvas.
I'm taking this whole table.
Yeah,
bitch.
I was like, I'm taking the table y todo. The fucking tablecloth and everything. So she comes back, and she was like, here's all your cranes. And I was like, thank you. We start walking through the club to like leave. And I was like, there's a bitch selling paper cranes out there. Go get some paper cranes. And they were like, how many did you buy? I was like, 5 of them. I was so proud of my fucking origami paper cranes. And my date was just like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like,
was your dad around?
Yeah, he was like, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your father. That's what he said. Fuck. Anyway, so I got a paper crane for you, for Juice, for the bird, and for myself.
You can get one for your date, though, right? You bought a crane for everybody but your fucking date.
I don't think that he wanted one.
Bitch, he wanted one.
He didn't say he wanted one. He didn't say that. He should have said it. Anyway, well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, we appreciate... Oh, wait, we have a motherfucking shout-out.
Shout-outs.
Shout-out to our newest listener. Apparently, our putting our stickers everywhere fucking worked out. From the improv, we have a new listener, Soaring and Roaring. You are a bad bitch. A bad fucking bitch. Oh, you know what reminds me? She rides motorcycles. Motorcycles. She drives a motorcycle. It's badass. Yeah. She goes to Harley Davidson, so you know she got money. I don't know what her real name is, but congratulations to you on your bike. Like, that shit looks crazy.
You don't feel a little shame?
A little shame of what?
She saw a little backstory. Okay. She saw one of our stickers on the tampon box.
Oh, whatever.
At a venue. Yeah. And she was like, I fuck with them people.
Yeah.
I was like...
Yeah, whatever. We end up on tampon boxes. What can I tell you? In bathrooms. What can I tell you?
Shout out.
Shout out, Soren and Roran. You're a bad fucking bitch. I wish that I could be like you, but I'm not. I'm a punk bitch. I just like to take people's dollar bills. Run me my money. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Go fuck yourselves. Goodbye.
No. So by the time this episode comes out, we're going to be in Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah. We've already gone to Albuquerque.
That's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, if Jerry lets me down and doesn't give me a fucking bobblehead, you know what? We're going to dedicate a whole episode to talking shit about Jerry.
He's used to it. He's used to it.
No, not the way I talk shit. Not the way I talk shit. He going to run me 10 bobbleheads the way I talk shit.
Shout out, motherfucker. Appreciate y'all listening. Well, we're going to have a good-ass episode next time.
Yeah, we're going to go see Jerry in Concrete, so stay tuned for that one.
Stay blessed.
Go fuck yourselves. Goodbye.
Bye.